Well, the heat is on across the U.S. By the middle of this week, more than 2/3 of the country will be fleeing the oppressive temperatures. Today will be the 25th straight day of temperatures hitting at least 110 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. The extreme heat is just the latest in a series of intense climate conditions we've been covering. This year alone, we've seen a surge in temperature shifts, deadly floods, and natural disasters, many of which tie back to the effects of climate change. For more information on that, climate change's role in this intense weather, we're joined by Mark Hertsgaard. He's the executive director of the global media collaboration covering Climate Now and the environment correspondent of The Nation magazine. I see you adjusting the computer there and making sure we can see you clearly. Thank you for joining us. But we're obviously talking about something very serious here. How is climate change related to this intense weather and these temperatures that we're seeing that are unheard of? And I feel like we have this conversation every year.
Well, and it's not just here in North America. It is all over the world at this point that we are seeing heat that, according to the scientists, would be literally impossible if not for climate change. We burn a lot of fossil fuels. That's the main cause of climate change. It traps those gases up in the atmosphere, trap heat against the Earth. And so it's not really rocket science. If you're going to overheat the planet, you're going to get hotter temperatures. And that's happening all around the world. These temperatures that we recently had in the American South, they were made 5 times more likely by climate change. Now, yes, El Nino is also playing a part in this. But El Nino is just, if you will, the cherry on top of kind of a bitter cherry at that, of what climate change is doing all over the world, which is raising these baseline temperatures. I mean, you mentioned Phoenix. People cannot live in those kinds of temperatures for very long. And we would not be seeing this if it weren't for climate change.
And to that, I mean, you talk about a baseline. I mean, how much worse can the extreme weather get? I mean, as you said, people cannot continue to live like that. So are we going to see a shift of folks moving to different regions? Will we see are we going to be talking about temperatures in 140 degrees in 5 years?
It's ironic. Phoenix and Arizona in general is still a place where lots of people are moving. So a lot of people are not quite getting the message yet. If you're thinking of moving to Arizona to retire, you better think twice, because these temperatures, look, temperatures around the world, the average temperatures are only going to continue to go up until we stop burning fossil fuels. We've got to get off the fossil fuels and get onto renewable energy, zero carbon energy. And until we do that, this baseline is going to keep going up. Now, not every year is going to be as hot as this, but these temperatures that we've seen in June and July in North America, and indeed the Northern Hemisphere globally, scientists are saying they would be literally impossible without climate change.
So when it gets this hot, obviously people are trying to find a way to stay cool. And we talk about, air conditioning units and air conditioning systems. But that can also contribute to climate change. How so?
Well, it depends. If the air conditioning is run by electricity supplied by solar or wind or other zero carbon energy sources, it doesn't make global warming worse. But a lot of electricity here in the United States still does run by burning coal, and some are burning natural gas. And of course, when you burn that, those fossil fuels, those are carbon-based fuels, and that CO2 goes up into the atmosphere and traps more heat. So if you can, look, the first thing is air conditioning in many places is a lifesaver. So don't hesitate to turn up air conditioning to a level that you can live with. But in the longer term, we have got to get off of fossil fuels. And it's interesting, President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed last August, now we're seeing that is really rolling out a lot of changes around the country. And one of the things that you can do as a citizen is to apply for federal subsidies to upgrade the efficiency in your home so that you can be comfortable without making climate change worse.
Well, it took us a while to get to this point, and it sounds like it's going to take us, a little bit of time. We're making changes to get to a point where maybe we won't be having this conversation year after year after year. Mark?
Well, the scientists were clear very quickly. We can still stop this. We have all the technologies. The only thing that's preventing us is the politics. So if you want to get involved with politics.
All right. Mark Hertsgaard, thank you so much.
My pleasure.